Hello, everyone. This is part 2 of the Pleasure Sandwich video mini-series. I am Maria Ryder, also known as the Pleasure Principal, and I am here to talk to you and describe for you what it means to use the Pleasure Sandwich method to get hard shit done, essentially. We can also use it just for enjoyment and to get through our day or our week or our month. So pleasure sandwich means taking something and sandwiching it between two pleasurable activities, whatever that might be. Now, pleasure in this context could be sexual, it could be non-sexual, and we're going to talk about just some possibilities. So part 1 of the mini series explained the pleasure menu, and I gave you some ideas for appetizers, for warm-ups, for things that take just a few seconds to a few minutes. And in this part 2 of the mini series, we're going to talk about what I'm going to call small plates. Which is more in the 10-minute range of how much time you dedicate to this pleasure activity. So the purpose of the pleasure sandwich is to code into your nervous system a connection between the maybe less desirable activity that you want to get done and pleasure, right? Bring them into connection with each other to help build momentum, to feed and nourish your nervous system around doing things that feel more challenging or difficult to face. So you could bookend your day. I highly recommend bookending your day, sandwiching your day with pleasure activities first thing in the morning and last thing before you go to sleep. Super great practice, so good for nourishing the system, for calming yourself before bed. Of course, depends on which pleasure activity you choose, whether it's calming or not. So keep that in mind. But definitely recommend sandwiching the day. And then I also highly recommend sandwiching activities, so specific tasks that need to get accomplished that maybe feel more difficult. So today we're talking about the small plates you can do. So what kind of pleasure activities might fall into that 10-minute range? So I'm going to share my list with you, and I would love to hear your suggestions if others come up for you that you really enjoy using for in that small plate range. So here's my pleasure menu. And in part 1, I described all of these appetizers. And now we're going to talk about the small plates. So Dipsy Stories is something I recently discovered pretty much with the pandemic. So good timing. It is an app that you can download, and they have lots of sexy 10-minute stories. Some are meditations, some are visualizations like guided practices, and the vast majority are stories to listen to. And they have them all divided up into lots of different categories, and like 3 more new ones come out every week. Highly recommend. Great way to use your oral input around sexual energy and tapping into your turn on in this nice little bite-size time frame. The next one is a sensual shower. So of course, this could go from 10 minutes to, 30 or 40 minutes, depending upon, but you can do it in 10 minutes. And just attuning to all of the senses. So every time we drop in to do pleasure, I highly recommend you bring online as many of the 5 senses as you can. So sight, smell, taste, touch, sound, and check in with your energy body. That would be your 6th one. How are you feeling like emotionally? But the sensual shower gives you lots of opportunities for that. Put on some music, use some delicious body wash or whatever you're touching your body with. Do it with care, with presence, with gratitude, right? And with that sensuality. Also, the 2-way touch, right? Feel things on your hands and then feel your hands on your body can be really a great way to drop in and ground yourself. When you're washing your hair, do it with love. Give yourself a nice scalp massage. All these little things that we're doing. And instead of using the shower time to check out and go on sort of a mental checklist of things to do today, use it as a time to come into your body, to enjoy the pleasure of you. So you can bring a lot of the 5 senses online in a sensual shower. Breast massage, I talked about in part 1, like the over your clothes quickie breast massage. In the small plate section, it is the more full on, slow down, really give yourself a good deep massage. Do it with no clothing, add some oil to it, really giving the breasts a good amount of attention and love and gratitude, and feeling into them and what they might need, breathing into them, all kinds of delicious practices you can do there, and lots of ideas online for that too. The next one is, for me, one of the things I like to do is just get in a big comfy chair with some hot tea, a book that I want to read, and the cat inevitably shows up. And the cat actually is an integral part of it, because the purring and the sensation of petting the fur, as long as she's in a good mood and doesn't get pissy, right? It can be a very pleasurable activity that you can bring lots of your senses into at one time. So pancaking, the next one, is something that my daughter, who's now 18 and still pancakes, does all the time. And what it means is that you are being laid on, or you lay on top of someone else, like lined up, vertically, and get flattened like a pancake. So she'll come along and just like lay on me. And so it can totally be done with anyone. It's a full body, just like kind of grounding. It feels good. It's almost like, a, what do you call that? A weighted blanket in a certain way. But pancaking is one of our pleasure activities here. And taking a nap. And if you're a person who can take one of those nice 10, 15-minute cat naps and feel like rejuvenated, awesome, more power to you. I'm not great at it, but I know lots of people are. And I do love to just lay down and, kind of half nap, either in the hammock or out in the grass. It's getting a little chilly here for that, but it is one of my favorite small plate pleasure practices. The next one is meditation, basically listening to a guided meditation while I'm still in bed. So I'll do that in the morning. I'll hit the snooze. I'll play a meditation and kind of drift in and out with that, or right before I go to sleep at night. That's a good bookend the day one. And, the next one is just, it brings me a lot of pleasure to send love to other people. So I'll do a little like love bomb fest and send, just texts and highs and connecting with people that I love via whatever method we usually use, but that I can usually do it on text in a short amount of time. And then the last one on my list for this time is taking a walk, going outside, getting some fresh air, whether it's, raining or snowing or sunny or cloudy, whatever it is, just being outside, away from the screens, breathing some fresh air, and just giving yourself that 10-minute break. So those are my mostly, not sexual, but still super pleasurable ideas that you are welcome to give a try. I'd also love to hear ones that you would add to the list, because I'm always looking for new ideas for pleasure practices. So please go forth, use the pleasure sandwich, use it with all 5 senses with some mindfulness and some presence. And let me know how it goes, especially when you're using it around getting a task done, because the pleasure principle is all about getting shit done so that your radiance shines, so that your passion project makes it out into the world. And so I would love to support you to do that. And I hope that this practice supports you as well. See you next time.